Hey everyone, Christine from Okishima here, and welcome to my first Animal Crossing design YouTube video. I had a lot of fun designing Egyptian togas on Twitch, so I thought I'd make a design along video to show you guys the basics of toga making, since I've made quite a lot of toga designs and I haven't seen that many good ones on the portal. So in this video I want to break down how I make togas and the basic design principles that I use. Let's start with the design idea. We are making an Egyptian tunic, and our reference pictures look like this. I got them from a number of places, mostly just the internet, but also I took some inspiration from Assassin's Creed Origins, which has pretty great research into ancient Egyptian culture. Let's start by opening our Nook phone and going to the Pro Design tab. We will select the robe as a base for this design. The first thing I like to do is to change all of the colors to grayscale. You don't have to do this, but I find that it keeps my designs much more organized because the hue and vibrancy tabs are all set to the lowest or leftmost option, and the only shift in color along the palette is by lightness. This is in contrast to the default rainbow color palette, which has the hue, vibrancy, and light settings all over the place. We will change all of the colors to this light gray tone and add a shadow at the base of the whole design, as well as some larger creases that rise from the base of the design upwards. We're going to do the same thing, but in a lighter shade of gray. This is because the tunic is pretty much white, but not quite white. The next step of this design is to add in the base color. So we won't be using pure white for this design as it is too cool toned and is actually very modern looking. The ancient Egyptians made their outfit out of linen, which is a natural fabric. So since we want the outfit to look natural and to blend in with the sand, we are going to use a very light beige color instead, which is actually the same hue as skin or orange. I use this as the main base color here. After that, I need to adjust the colors of the shadow shades. You want to pick a shade that is lower on the lightness scale and also lower in vibrancy to keep it natural. I have a lot of experience staring at curtains and understanding how the fabric folds, but I know that doesn't come very intuitively to everyone. At the later stage of this design, I'll be changing up the color palettes and the saturation a little bit, but I will add the exact colors that I use to the description. We are going to add the biggest detail to the look next, the decorative Egyptian collar. For these colors, I want to start on the other end of my color palette, and this is primarily so that when I add more shading to the outfit, I will not run into the problem of mixing up the colors that I use for my collar and the colors that I use for my outfit base. So for this we will use a dark shade of gray for the outline and a slightly lighter shade of gray to fill in the design. You can see that the collar here is symmetrical, but not the exact same as the back. It's actually smaller in the back and bigger in the front. I also want it to be a large collar, so I will make it overlap onto the sleeves. And then we will add some colors to this because I actually want to make the collar with a blue base and not a black one. But of course, when you do this by yourself, you can use whatever colors you want. Step 5. Shading. There are a lot of ways to shade a design, but I'm going to explain the way I shade designs. I start off with 3 shades and then work my way up to more as and when I need them. This is mostly because I never quite know what colors I will need. So you will see me start with 3 shades and work my way up to 6. I draw in a cinched waistline onto my character. I like to draw my waistlines for toga designs 1 pixel off from the center line. And the colors for this should match the shadows at the base of the outfit, as this is the part of the outfit that is most in shadow. Once this is done, I'd like to add in crease lines from the waistline going down the toga. I pick another shadow tone, a slightly lighter one, to join it up all the way from top to bottom. If you use the same color to draw the crease from the waist to the bottom of the outfit, I'm not saying it's wrong, but it won't give you that soft linen effect that we're trying to have here. It will look a bit more pinstriped, or like a toga with very sharp pleats. If you are interested in learning more about how to achieve different textures and custom designs, leave a comment in the video to let me know. What I'm doing now in terms of shading is adding more colors in similar hues of brown, but with different amounts of saturation and lightness. Don't worry so much about getting all of the colors perfect, because we'll be doing some adjustments later. You will notice that I don't make it so regular. Fabric isn't that regular either. What is important is that the darker colors are next to the lighter colors, especially along the vertical edges. I also use one color that's darker in lightness and less vibrant to increase the shadows between the creases, and this is using the shading to actually increase the contrast between the folds. For this part of the outfit, I recommend using a reference when you start out, but let me explain the basic principles with a drawing. So in Animal Crossing, when you have a tight outfit, you don't have to draw in crease lines, but if you are making an outfit with excess fabric, as what the toga is, there will be fold lines. So when you have a fabric and you hold it up at the end, it will fold. In this particular look, the 2 points of this outfit that are holding up the excess fabric are the shoulder pieces. What you will end up with is a stage curtain type effect. So that's basically explaining how the fabric will bunch in this direction. How do you add colors in the pixel art to create this effect? Well, when you look at the stage curtain, you will see that when light hits it at a particular direction, the lighter part is where the fabric sticks out, and the shadow is where the fabric is folded inside. So in the same way, you can draw the fabric lines so that the highlight sections sit above the fold. You can use as many or as few colors as you like for this. I would recommend at least 3, but if you use fewer colors, your fabric will look lighter, slinkier, much more high contrast. Think about how high contrast satin is when it folds. If you blend out the colors with more shades in between, which is what we will do here, your fabric will look less shiny and a little bit more stiff. It shows that your fabric doesn't quite fold as easily or as slinkily as something like satin. How do we make sleeves? Okay, now we move on to the sleeves. For this one, I'm going to show you a really easy way of making the sleeves. This is a trick that not many designers know about, even though it's been a feature of the app since the beginning. So first, let's drag the design so that the bottom skirt section of the design is now at the top of the design. Click on this icon in the bottom left and press Y. What you want to do is to copy the design onto the sleeve. Go back to the first page that you dragged out of place and put it back into its original position. Now your skirt folds from the front of your tunic are now on your sleeve. The reason we have to do this is because what the app will do is it will crop your pixel design to fit the sleeve. So a little bit of mild editing is needed, to make the sleeve look as you want, but you can use the same function to copy the sleeve onto the second sleeve. And just like that, your sleeves are done. Now we are done with the toga section, and we will be decorating the collar with the remaining colors. It's actually a very delicate balance. Use all your colors in your base outfit and you will have a very plain looking collar. But use all of the colors in the collar and your toga might not look so realistic. I'm personally quite happy with this balance of colors, but feel free to experiment based on what you want. For the collar decoration, I settled on blue, red, gold, and reused the lightest beige in there as well. This was because they were the colors in my reference photos. I also eventually decided to keep the details as small as possible instead of going for bigger motifs. The main reason for this is because the designs in the upper portion of the robe have a tendency to warp weirdly near the neck, and I wanted to keep it looking as uniform as possible. Last step was to make the robe collar round to match the rest of the collar. For this, you can actually use skin tones, but since the detail is very, very small and unnoticeable, I just picked a dark gray to fill in the shadow. Your Animal Crossing character has a very big head, so it won't look like much from the front. Bonus design! You can make this design a short tunic, which actually looks really fashionable. The design can be modified directly. I only adjusted it slightly at the waistline, and it already looks publishable. And congrats! You now know how to make a toga. I hope this was helpful for you as you make your own Animal Crossing custom designs. If you want to see my other designs, follow me on Instagram. I have multiple creator codes, other custom designs for paths, flags, panels, and outfits. I'm also creating custom designs every week on Twitch, so if you're interested in watching me design in real time, that's the place to go. Thanks everyone! Bye!